Damn. What I got going on in my life? Just trying to pay these bills, man. Trying to feed these children.
All right. Yeah, welcome back. We're here. A lot has changed. We have another episode that might come out, might not.
Heavy on the mic.
Yeah. It was a very short, just like intro, like we just wanted to get something out there. So it is kind of janky. This is our setup for now. Hopefully everything comes out all right. The only problem right now is that our lighting is not that great. Amazon is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, but we talked about this about how like you get what you pay for. So like
every time.
A lot of the stuff that I got was on sale just because, we don't have a big budget right now for our
Are you calling
equipment.
us broke to the world? Actually,
No.
we do have a budget. You know what I'm saying?
We have a budget, but the thing is, which was weird, is that the camcorders went from it was like 50 to 120, and they're literally all the same, exactly the same. And then from 120, it went like the next grade up was like Sony or like name brand stuff, $300 a pop. And I was like, like,
yeah, I mean, that's fair.
in the future, yes, but like right now, like,
I actually think this is gonna look surprisingly better than maybe you're anticipating.
Yeah, it's not gonna look as good as.
I mean, from what I'm learning now, like in post really determines kind of everything.
Yeah, I can edit the color and
color grading. Premiere is actually a beast of a freaking software.
Hopefully, it sounds good. I mean, last podcast sounded pretty good. Again, Premiere with the audio, they can do crazy stuff with audio. So
I know we're going to talk about, well, at some point we'll talk about AI, but I know you're just bringing some stuff up about what Premiere is doing, and it's actually like a cheat code. AI is crazy.
Literally a cheat code. It's a cheat code for content creators in general. I feel like as of recently, content creation has become so easy and so easily accessible.
Yeah.
Which has been great because there's a lot of people that, for lack of a better term, they're born to be in front of a camera. You know what I mean? They're straight entertainers, and they're just good at what they do. I'm talking like Twitch streaming. I'm talking about just YouTube videos. I'm talking about podcasts. Like that's one of the things I wanted to talk about was, how social media has changed from COVID, which I personally think social media has changed a lot since COVID. Because you got to think like, yes, YouTube was the thing to do. Podcasting was the thing to do. Twitch streaming was the thing to do before COVID.
Okay.
But you got to think when people were forced to stay inside, they had to find new hobbies. And what is the easiest hobby when all you have is a phone and a laptop and internet connection? Content creation.
True.
So a lot of people, fell back on content creation, and we have received a lot of quality entertainers since COVID, I feel like. I mean, we've had a lot of trash too.
Well, I mean, good and bad's always subjective to me. Like something that I don't like, somebody else might like. It is what it is. But
yeah, that's true.
I wasn't even thinking about that because I don't know. I feel like those couple of years is like a blur. So I didn't even realize that the landscape changed that much. But you're kind of right. I see a lot more people on Twitch, and as someone who didn't know anything about Twitch, I still don't know anything about it, but I know a lot more than I did before, just because you've seen like how popular it's becoming and how easy it is for just about anybody to create. I just laugh at the idea like people just sit on Twitch and like just watch people talk.
So get this. So that's a thing. That's been a thing for a while. Just chatting.
I didn't even know that was like, it's still bananas to me that people just like, I'll just turn on my Twitch stream and just be on here for 6 hours and y'all just sit with me. Like, what?
I mean,
it's cool, but it's crazy.
Another thing I'm pretty sure this happened during COVID too, was hot tub streams. Do you hear anything about that?
Hot tub streams?
Hot tub streams.
No, it sounds very provocative. What is
it? Exactly. It was. And so during the pandemic, like I said, I don't remember when the hot tub streaming like thing happened,
Mm.
like when it blew up. But another thing that blew up during COVID, OnlyFans. OnlyFans exploded
Okay.
during COVID.
Right.
Like, you gotta think, there's girls that are making millions of dollars a month
Yeah.
just from posting content on OnlyFans. And some of these girls are only posting like very little, just because they have so many subscribers.
Mhm.
They're paying, I think, like typical like monthly payment is like $10. You gotta think $10 if you have like thousands of people,
100,000
like
people
bro.
subscribed. Yeah, I mean, this is still wild to me how much money they make.
Yeah,
over.
but so OnlyFans blew up. That's kind of expected if you think about it.
You consider OnlyFans? Well, I guess it would be considered social media.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like yeah, okay, fair.
Make sure you're talking into the mic too.
Am I not?
You're literally like this. This is how you're talking.
Oh, because it's sitting under my. Hey yo. All right, bet. Go ahead. Is it gonna drop? We're good.
You'll figure it out. So OnlyFans has blown up because we went from you have typical like X-rated content for free, right? But OnlyFans provided that more intimate like avenue to that content, and when you got people inside, chronically inside, like not because they choose that, but because they have to. Like,
okay, I'm following.
There's people
Somewhat.
that are going to search other places for that kind of content, and OnlyFans was that place to go. Because a lot of these girls were like, okay, I'm going to get the bag. Like, I have this much following on Instagram from just posting thirst traps, which I'm not showing anything. They have millions of followers on Instagram, and they transitioned to OnlyFans. That's like immediate bag right there.
Yeah.
Because how many creepy dudes are waiting to see everything? You know what I mean?
I just can't imagine paying. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
but there's
wild to me, bro.
There's people that do it.
It's so wild. But my thing is, okay, so I understand like during that era, everyone was chronically inside. But one thing I'm noticing now, which is still kind of alarming to me, is I still feel like people are chronically inside. It's like, why? Why are we still chronically inside?
And I kind of talked about that in the last episode. And since I don't know if that's going to go out, I'll kind of just reiterate. Mm-hmm. Being forced to stay inside like that really, I think, had a very, sometimes a negative effect, but sometimes a positive effect. But either way, it affected people mentally. Like,
all right, which is fair.
Introverted people, I think, became more introverted. Some introverted people might have realized, I want to get outside. Like, they went from, okay, I just care about staying inside. And then right when that, all the bans were lifted, they're like, oh, I can't wait to get outside. And that might have changed some people. But for other people, that just confirmed in their brain, like, oh, I can do everything from inside. Like, I don't have to go outside. You know what I mean?
It's just like such a scary place to be in to me. Like, it's just so one dimensional. Like we were talking about, like they were talking about funny enough, on social media, they were talking about how everything that we do now is so, they call it like the immediate gratification stuff. But like, besides that, like everything is so easy as you touch the fingertips. So like the other night I was off from work. I was like, I don't feel like going out to get food. Just DoorDash it. Like I can literally go, well, with my job, no. But before, I could easily go an entire day and not speak to anybody. That's like unheard of 30 years ago.
And that's another thing that blew up during the pandemic is DoorDash and food delivery services. Crazy.
Which is also why everybody blew up during the pandemic.
Yeah. No, but to your point of, I like how you said, you don't know how people can stay inside because it's one dimensional. It's like, I don't know. I already forgot what you said. Did you say boring?
Not boring, but it's when I say one dimensional, I mean like it's predictable. Okay. Like if Monday through Friday, I know I'm going to be in my home. There's only 10 different outcomes that could probably happen with him being inside.
So think of it from this perspective. you're safe in your house.
Okay. Yeah.
To a lot of people, that means a lot.
No, it should.
You laugh.
It should. No, it
you
should.
laugh, but like to a lot of people, like it might sound funny to us, but going outside is scary. Like you step outside your house, you don't know what's going to happen. You could go to the grocery store. You can get in a car accident. You could die. I mean, someone could run a red light and just annihilate you. Like you're done.
That's fair. I mean, I get that part.
And another thing, like shootings, like
which is that has gone up.
That's another thing that has blown up recently. That I feel like every other week, we're hearing about a shooting, and that's not even every shooting that's happening. You know how many shootings happen that are not even televised because they are so common.
And all that stuff is valid. It's fair. I completely get it, but I do think that, I mean, if we choose to focus on what could or might happen, especially if it's bad, I can't control if somebody runs a red light. If I get in a car accident tomorrow and someone ran a red light and hit me, I have no control over it's out of my realm of like what I can handle or control.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel as if I'm worrying about every day that I get in my car to drive to work that I'm gonna get in a car accident, then like I would be stressed out about driving.
Exactly. And
why I do that to myself.
And I don't want to say that's the normal way of thinking, but that's a very common way of thinking.
And no, 100%. I'm agreeing with you. And I'm hearing it and seeing it a lot more too.
And then now we got to think about people that have chronic anxiety and they have certain, what's the correct term? Mental health issues that hinder that part of your brain that says, okay, I can go outside. I could get in a car accident. I could go outside. This could happen, but I'm not going to, hinder that part of my life just because I have those irrational thoughts.
Right.
Some people, those irrational thoughts literally can control them. And they can't control their irrational thoughts. You can't turn your brain off.
Yeah. And I get that. And I like to hear that other perspective of it, because as someone I try to so I remind myself all the time, if I can't control it, if I hop on a plane to fly to Japan, bro, and this plane goes down the ocean, I have no control of this plane.
Yeah.
So why would I even worry about it? I can't even would I be upset? Sure. Would that suck? Yeah. But me being worried about that happening is ruining my present day. I'm thinking tomorrow morning I have to drive to work and I have to be there at whatever time. And I know that traffic is always bad that morning. And so the night before I go to sleep, I'm just thinking about dang, bro, I-4 is going to be so hectic tomorrow. I'm hoping I'm driving okay. That would just keep me up at night. I would just, bro, let's handle that when it has to get handled instead of,
Yeah.
But I get it. A lot of people do struggle and they're just worrisome. I'm not one of those individuals.
Yeah.
But I do think that type of worry it adds a certain level of stress. And it's a weight to bear. It was just bro,
and that's a weight.
Drop that off.
That's a weight that a lot of people wish they didn't have to bear, but
yeah,
it's.
I mean, I get
literally
it. I get it.
Something they can't control.
Right. But I mean, and I get it too. I think when people were inside during the pandemic, it definitely it left you a lot of time to be alone with your thoughts. And for some, that was a good thing. For some people, not so much. I don't know, man. I know we were talking about earlier too, my perspective on just life, which I'm a 25-year-old. For some people, when I say I'm 25, I'm a kid. So who cares what I think? But I'm so big on that part where it's just bro, if I can't control, I can't control what happens tomorrow. All I can do is show up, try to do the best I can, whatever I'm doing. And that's all I can be. I can be worried about how I show up and the energy I bring. Everything else that happens outside of that, I'm really just a passenger. I can't control any of it. So it's just
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, I totally agree with that side of looking at things too. And in some situations, I wish I could be more like that.
Mm.
I'm very cautious when it comes to everything, just because I wouldn't say suffer, because I think everyone has irrational thoughts. Just how much and how often and how much that you let that affect you differs from person to person, right?
Yes.
Like I was just talking about this to Leah the other day. We have irrational thoughts 100% of the day at all times. Like I can go outside and be like, what if a plane just fell out of the sky and just wiped out my whole neighborhood?
Oh my God.
Like that's like extreme, right?
Right.
But like that's a thought that will fly through my head. I don't give it a second thought, you know what I mean? But that is something that kind of just, pops into my head, and I'm like, oh, like, and I just go about like sometimes I have thoughts that I don't, it sounds weird, but I have thoughts that I don't think about.
They just enter and just like go through.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's crazy.
Like, you know how like our parents had that saying, one in one ear and out the other? That's kind of how like I feel like some of my thought process is, because I also have ADHD. I was diagnosed when I was really young. I tried like all types of like the normal medicine, right? It affected me in a way that I didn't like, so I kind of just whatever, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But some days are way worse than others, where I can't sit down, I can't focus, I can't think a one singular thought. If I'm lucky, I can, juggle a couple different things at the same time. But there's certain days where it literally feels like my brain is just a tornado, and it sounds funny, but it's like really not funny in the moment, because it's difficult to deal with that in the way that, I'm working and I have stuff I have to do. I have to think about. You can just push her down.
She's good. There you go.
She just wants attention.
We're good. I'm listening.
But yeah, that's something I personally deal with on a day-to-day basis, and I found ways that, I can deal with that and kind of navigate that in my life. Subi,
You're just lit.
stop. Don't let her do that. She's gonna scratch. She's gonna like.
Are you good? She's good.
Yeah, just chill.
So like, put it this way, the same way that you have like these like irrational thoughts that are like randomly, I don't want to say like all of them are negative, but like just irrational, but like wild. I have those same thoughts, but they're like positive. So I'll wake up and I'm like, bro, like, what if somebody just decides to just give me like $1 billion a day? Like, what would I do?
What if I blow up on TikTok?
Or like, what if I post a video today and they're like, this is the one that like, like, but that's how my stuff that I feel as if I have no control over that. Like, if it happens, it happens. Yeah. If it doesn't, okay.
And I have those thoughts too. I have positive irrational thoughts.
But my swing just isn't as drastic. Like, my swing might be like, bruh, like, my thing is like, you'd be thinking like, oh, if I get in a car accident, like, like, am I going to like survive or something like that? My thing is like, I'm getting in a car accident. I'm like, bro, this is about to ruin my day. Like, I'm about to be out here, get on the phone, call the police. Like that. I'm thinking of it like how it would be an inconvenience rather than like my health. Yeah. I'd be like, I'd just be mad that I have to like do like 10 more steps before I do something else. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but like, I don't know. I just feel like harping on things that would like bother me or cause me some form of stress. Like I was saying, like it becomes like a weight to bear, and I'm just like, why am I bearing it if it's not even a thing yet? Like I'm thinking the problem to life. Like, why even do that?
And the part that makes it so difficult is the fact that I know that I can't do anything about it.
Do you believe in that thing where the people say like thoughts become things and all that good stuff? You put the fall, man. What are you doing? So
okay, say it again.
Do you believe like people say thoughts become things, or it's like thoughts become things, or like what you think about becomes and all that? Like it's basically like whatever you think about or you harp on is usually what. So like people will say like, oh, so like whatever you're the most scared of, whatever your biggest fear is, usually is what's going to happen.
Like you manifest it.
Because you're literally only thinking about that.
Okay, so you're saying like the thing where people say if you have nothing but negative thoughts, or
Yeah.
negative things are going to happen to you.
Right.
Um, yes and no, because again, depression is a real thing,
Yeah.
and
100%. I agree.
um, a lot of the time those thoughts can't be controlled.
Mhm.
And even if I have the most positive outlook on things, I still might have those negative thoughts. That kind of brings me to there's a soccer team in Europe. I think it's Norwork. I think it
Mhm.
was Norwork. I might be butchering that, but there was a soccer team that did a commercial for mental health,
Okay.
and it was basically just we assume it's friends, two friends going to soccer games, and one sitting there. He's kind of like, you know, kind of seems like he's been a long day. He's kind of
Mhm.
like he's not totally into it. They score a goal. He's kind of sitting down, just clapping, and his friend is getting up and like, yeah.
Right.
And this goes on, like you see, like they're going to several games and over and over, and the friend will lean over and ask his other friend, be like, "Hey, you all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing all right. It's just a long day."
Right.
And this goes on, this goes on, this goes on, and same thing. The friend's kind of sitting down. He's like enjoying himself, but he's not like totally in it. And then it fades to black, and it says um, something to the effect of, "You never know who's struggling." And then it shows the next scene, and the friend that was happy and cheering is not there anymore. And
Mhm.
it's the other friend that was kind of, the whole time kind of sitting down and kind of really chill. And he kind of looked depressed. He like put a scarf on the chair that was next to him, and, sat down and kind of took off his hat and like
Mhm.
looked up. Like, and then it went to, you never know who's struggling
Right.
from what they act on the outside.
Yeah.
So I guess my point in saying that was, there are people that portray pure happiness.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
you go outside and their goal is to not bring other people down, but we don't know what's going on in their head. They could
Yeah.
be struggling.
Yeah. And
Like,
that's, yeah, I believe that 100% too. I, so toxic positivity is a real thing.
yeah.
Like there's some people who are positive to a toxic fault. Like it's just, and I think once you reach that level, that is no longer like a genuine, like you're trying to create, you're trying to force, right? I mean, the perspective I try to attack positivity from, like I read something the other day where it's just like, you ever notice there's some people who genuinely are just like naturally just positive,
Mhm.
almost to the point where like it'll make you mad. Like, why are you
Yeah, yeah.
always like in a good mood?
Yeah, yeah,
Like you're never having a bad day. And obviously, some people do that because of other things they're struggling with. But then there's some people who just really
yeah.
like it's a new day, it's a new challenge, new opportunity. And so, in my perspective, I want to like kind of be able to share that type of energy as well too, because it's a choice.
Mhm.
It's 100% a choice. I working in sales, like you're gonna have good days and bad days, but honestly, when you wake up, you're kind of gonna decide what kind of day you're gonna have. Like
Yeah.
if I'm waking up and I'm mad to go to work, and I'm like, bro, this customer is pissing me off. Like I don't feel like it's just gonna steamroll
I
into your day.
I agree with you to an extent, because
Mhm.
it's not always a choice.
Whether you have a good day or a bad day,
Yes, it's not
you don't
always
think
a
you can
choice.
flip negatives into
Nope.
positives?
No.
Ooh, I like that.
S-
Why not?
Certain days, I mean, for me, as an example, I can wake up and I can just feel like absolute garbage,
Mm,
and all I'm thinking about in the morning is everything that I've done wrong. I haven't gone to work out all week. I haven't gone outside and done anything with my friends all week.
mhm.
I haven't done any of my hobbies and enjoyed it. Just all negative thoughts in the morning. I get up, I'm getting ready for work, and I can some days are different than others. I can say, okay, I'm gonna make the most out of this day. It's gonna be a good day. I check my calendar. I have big gaps in between my meetings, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna
Yeah.
be, I'm gonna have a good day. I have tons of time to myself. And some days just doesn't work out that way. Some days I can't turn it around. Some days I go from starting my day like crap and I end my day like crap. Other days I start my day like crap and I can transition it and I do something really fun. I do something I really want to do. I hang out with friends at the end of the day and I can turn my day around. Other times I can do the same thing. Like you put them next to each other, do the same thing. One day doesn't turn out how I want it to. The other day it turns out how I want it to.
That's an interesting
So
kind of way to
I
look at it
really
too.
do think and believe and from experience know that you don't really have control, because sometimes it's just a chemical imbalance in your.
I mean, yeah, I hear your point. I mean, I get it. I try to
think of it this way. Think of it this way. You have someone like Leah that has chronic anxiety.
Yeah.
And you go up to them and you say, "Don't be so anxious. Like, look at all the good things that."
Yeah.
It's extreme. No, it's extreme. But you're kind of saying the same thing.
Mm.
You're kind of saying that, okay, you have a choice not to be anxious, or you have a choice not to be depressed or negative.
I'm not saying, I don't mean it in a way that like that you can't be anxious or you can't be depressed. I'm saying it more so as a choice to have a good or bad day. Because in my world, good and bad is subjective. Like what might be bad to someone else might be an opportunity for somebody else. Yeah. So
I think more of you have a choice to you have a choice to
go ahead.
I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. You have a choice to lead your life in a certain way that is going to end up in a positive or in a negative. The negative might be you not do anything about you being negative, thinking negative thoughts. And the positive might be, I'm going to try my hardest to help myself get out of this rut.
Right.
And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm just in my mind, like, for example, let's say I'm having a quote unquote, I'm having a bad day, right? I don't feel like I'm doing anything right. Like I'm getting frustrated and whatever the case may be. So like let's say like what's something that would be considered like a bad day? Like, I don't know. I'm working with a customer or something and it's just not working. Whatever I'm doing is just not working. Mm-hmm. Right. So instead of me harping on the fact that I can't solve this particular puzzle, I like try to just like remove myself from it and be like, okay, what can I take from this to flip it? Like, okay, so this is an experience that I'm having that most people wouldn't deem to be a good experience. Like, I think this has been a bad interaction. Wouldn't be considered successful. So when I look back on it, okay, can I take that experience and make it into something that's positive for me to look forward to? So I look at it like, okay, this experience sucked. So how do I go back and try to make myself better from it? Okay. So for me, in my mind, how I would compute that, in order for me to get better at something or to get good at something or to realize that there's room for me to improve, I need to have that. So yeah, somebody might look at it from the outside and be like, oh, bro, you were terrible with that customer. But in my mind, it's like, well, I wouldn't know when I'm doing good unless I had a moment where I'm like, yeah, I'd really messed that up.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had there and it didn't work, so that now I can look forward and be like, okay, when I'm doing it right, I know I am.
Or even during those bad days when, from outside looking in, they're like, oh man, that you did terrible with that customer. Yeah. But to you, it's like, I might have done terrible, but I tried.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then like, look, the way that this world works, it's left and right, it's ups and downs, it's slow and fast. Like you can't have one without the other. Like having good days without thinking that you'll have a day that's quote unquote bad is not realistic. I think it's just how we decide to view the negative or the bad is what determines how we push forward through it. Like if I look at a day like, okay, I go a week and I'm like, I don't work out. Am I going to be like, dang, bro, you a bum. Like how you didn't go to the gym the whole week? I'm like, no, I'm going to look at it like, all right, look, maybe I didn't do what I wanted to do this week physically, but like next week, now that's going to motivate me to not have that week again. So I'm going to flip that week of me not doing what I was supposed to do into like, this is my motivation now to do it, to make sure, because I don't feel good about not doing that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, yeah, some people might view it as a negative. I'm going to try to, it's a daily thing, because I'm one of those people too. Like I'm naturally pessimistic. I'm cynical. I like numbers. I like knowing why this works, why this doesn't work. So in order for me to add energy and to be positive into it, I have to figure out how can I flip it. Like, dang, I lost $1,000 a day. Like, that sucks. Most people be like, bro, you're down a band. Like, how are you having a good day? Well, tomorrow I'm going to make 2 bands.
Yeah.
Because I have to, like, because if I'm going to sit there and harp on it, like, well, I'm going to end up having a bad day. If I sit here and think like, yo, at 9 o'clock this morning, I had an opportunity to make $1,000 or $10,000 and I lost it. If I don't figure out how to bring myself out of that, I'm going to spend the next 8 hours thinking like, bro, I lost 10K this morning. Oh my God. What am I doing?
Yeah.
It's done. It's gone. It's out of my control now.
Yeah.
So like, what's the next thing I can control? And that's going to be something that's positive because I'm going to make it positive. So like, hey, I lost that one, but I got these lined up. One of these got to work.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it work because I'm going to come into it with great energy and be positive about it. That's the thing too. I learned, bro, if you're having like a drought or a lot of things, you're having let's call it a negative spiral where you feel like everything is going wrong. Like people can kind of feel that. So like if I'm having a bad day and I'm trying to provide a service for you and be helpful, like people can tell you're having a bad day. Like it's going to be written in your energy.
Yeah.
And so you gotta be able to like at least try to snap out of it because if not, it's a horrible place to just wallow in.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like we're men, like no one's gonna feel bad for you. Like keep trying. There's nothing wrong with failing. It happens.
Yeah. And you know, back to your point of, you know, bad days happen. There's always an end to the bad streak. Whether that's, you know, a week from now or a month from now, there's always an end.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that's also important to know is that, you know, no matter how long you think you've been in a rut, there's always going to be an end to that rut.
It's always going to be it every single time. Like imagine you're on I hate to like correlate everything to sports, but like you're on a team that lost every game, bro. You lost every single game that season. The one game that you win is going to feel like bliss.
You won the championship.
Like you won a championship.
Yeah.
But again, someone could be like, wow, you guys showed up every week and you lost every single game except for one. Or you can be the guy who looks at it like, look, we showed up all these weeks. We only won one game, but like, look at the stories I had to tell from the experience of the loss.
Yeah.
Like I can look back and be like, I have an experience that you don't have. And I can make that camaraderie, that experience that's a one of one, a positive experience, even though in the moment I might not have felt proud about it. But looking back on it, like it's something I can.
And also the fact that you didn't give up. Like you kept showing up for work. You kept on putting on your uniform. You know,
there's no story. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing that you can share with people, family, friends that doesn't have a downside. Like it, there has to be. I mean, so there's a book called oh my gosh. I think it's The Man with 1,000 Faces or something like that. Anyways, it explains how stories are written. And obviously one of the like most common themes in all stories is someone who reaches rock bottom and they go to top. Like 90% of movies is someone starting probably in the middle, going all the way down, like you're trenches, like you're bad. Okay. And then at the end, you're at the top. Like that's how stories are made.
Yeah.
So like for you to wake up every day and be like, oh, you know, I can't believe this didn't work out for me. Like, no, well, listen, the story's still being written. Yeah. You have to finish the story.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it might be bad today, but it doesn't mean it has to be bad tomorrow.
Facts.
So I know, so there's a section you want to talk about my perspective. That is my perspective now on just about everything. I try to be chronically, I don't want to use the word positive because that's kind of forced, but like, you deal with a lot of people who like to see just the bad on everything. Like, all right, well, how do I flip it to be like positive? Okay. All right, how do I do that? Does it take some time? Is it challenging? Yeah, it can be. Is it annoying at sometimes? Sure. But it's always a lot better to have something to look forward to than to be like, bro, I hate my job. I hate this. I hate that. Like,
yeah,
bro, there's only but so much room you can have to be like down about stuff. Literally.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be around somebody who's sad all the time.
There's always an opportunity to turn things around. Always.
Every single time.
No matter how, like you said, no matter how rock bottom you may think you are, there's always, you got to think of it from the perspective of when you hit rock bottom, there's only the way is up.
You can only go up.
You can only go up.
And what's rock bottom to you, someone else might be like, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. It's just perspective.
Yeah.
It's perspective. And I think one thing I think social media has done though, it's kind of twofold. One, it depending on your feed, who you follow, who you're listening to all the time, it can either one magnify how you're feeling, or two, it can help you to pull yourself out of it. But a lot has to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if I'm having issues with whatever, I'm having relationship problems. Okay, well, if I'm watching 100 TikToks a day about people in bad relationships, like it's just nothing. It's all it's going to do is reconfirm where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's part of like that's on. I hate to say it's your fault, but like it's on you. Like you have to be able to notice: is this feeding into my spiral, or is it helping me change my perspective?
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Like I think people always talk about curate your feed. That's important because what you're seeing all the time,
what you're consuming
is literally going to impact your mental.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. The content, the entertainment, the just everything we consume can affect our life and affect our mood and affect how we go about our day. From the food we eat, from the TikToks we watch, to how we treat other people, it all is going to affect our day. It's all going to affect our mood. It's all going to affect another person's day. Because if you go up to someone and you're an asshole to a person that's already having a bad day, we might not know that person's having a bad day, but if you go up to a person and you just spread negativity, that's going to make that person feel even worse.
Exactly.
And I never want to be, no matter how much of a bad day I'm having, I never want to be the cause of someone else's pain or to add on to someone else's pain. I want to be the reason that they smile. I want to be the reason that they're like, you know what? My rock bottom is not so bad.
Yeah. And that's admirable. Everyone should be trying to do that. I think that's been a kind of a cool kind of swing too on some social. Well, my feed is curated a different way. But yeah, positive stuff is always great. And I think it's like silly when people think like, oh, well, you know, the music you listen to and all this stuff, like it doesn't really matter. It's kind of weird, but it really does. It's incredible how much the entertainment and stuff that we consume really will shift your. I mean, you can see it now, like goodness gracious, what's his name? Tate and like Sneeko and all these guys who were like pushing like the anti-feminism and all that stuff. And I'm not saying either side is right or wrong, but depending on the audience and like how they react to your content, it's not like it's just like, oh, after I stop watching it, I no longer correlate or resonate with that information.
Mm-hmm.
Like eventually, if I keep consuming content, no matter who it is, and it starts to like resonate with you, you're going to start bringing that to life in your day to day. It is what it is. And so all that stuff is powerful, whether you agree with it or not. It's just, it's real.
Yeah. And I know we're at the almost 50-minute mark. So we're
Jesus Christ.
We're kind of winding down here, but I think one thing we can talk about next time too is the fact that I feel like a lot of content creators now are very aware of everything that we just talked about.
Yeah.
They're very aware, and a lot of people are out there just trying to build other people up. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's really special for the people that are out there doing that. Big ups to you. Like, keep doing what you're doing. Because in the end, like, we're all in this together. There's no use in bringing someone else down just to bring ourselves up.
Right.
Yeah, but my main point of that is just I feel like a lot of content recently, and it's a lot of the generations understanding other people's pain, and we're kind of in this like hive mind of, okay, we're all in this together. Like, what I do is going to affect someone else. It may affect them, it may not affect them, but I'm going to put out positivity so that I get positivity back, or even if I get negativity back, it's my duty as a content creator to take that negativity and push out more positivity. And
every time,
we don't know how that might affect someone. You know,
you never know. You never know until
yeah. I mean, I think that's good. We have a lot of stuff that we talked about. I think a lot of this stuff is very important. You know, I know we've talked about this in the past with other people when we used to do the podcast years ago.
The lady, I can't remember her name, I feel so bad about this now. Bro, she literally changed my life that episode. It's the funniest thing.
Who?
This was like 2 or 3 years ago. I forgot her name, bro.
The artist?
No, I would know who that is.
On our podcast?
Yes, years ago. I'm saying years ago, like it was like 2 years ago.
A female.
Oh my God. Yes, it was a woman. I can't remember her name. It's so embarrassing. She was the one that brought up the idea of the stories we tell ourselves. And I can't remember her name to save my life. And it's so embarrassing.
Oh,
I can't remember it, dude.
The woman she's a author?
Yeah, did she write a book? She was like a lawyer or something. Or she worked with like, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing.
No, I know who you're talking about.
You're about to mess her name up. I'd rather you just wait.
Yeah, we'll just wait. I know who you're talking about though.
But she brought a great point about like the stories we tell ourselves. Like that is everything. Like, oh, I can't believe this guy is like driving so slow. Like, okay, what if his wife's in the car and like, you know, him driving fast and the bumps in the road are like hurting her, which is why he's driving like that. Whereas like you're just trying to get to work and like break her in the way. But it's like if I decide to tell myself that story, that takes the stress off of me. I'm like, oh, well, maybe he's doing it for a really good reason.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that is the case, but like, or I can tell myself a story that makes me more irate.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyways, positivity. We will remember her name. We'll have to like shout her out. But super, really, really good, really insightful. And you know, the more you think, the better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, next podcast will probably have a little bit more of a structure. I know today I was kind of just winging it. We had a few things on the docket, but
I would love to hear people's feedback on kind of like your perspective on the positivity and the negativity. I don't know how, but I'm sure everyone's kind of dealing with this stuff off and on, whether they're aware of it or not.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like comment how you feel about everything that we said. Like if you think that what we said was wrong, let us know.
Yeah, please.
Like I think both of us are very open to conversation, and we're both open to new ideas and different perspectives. And that's what makes individuals so special, is that everyone has a different opinion and everyone lives their life in a different way. Yeah. And that's what makes us so unique.
Yeah.
As individuals. But yeah. I think we should just leave it at that.
Let's do that.
This was good. I don't know. I don't know if we should be looking at the camera more. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Our new setup. Hopefully this looks good. We're gonna figure that out very soon. Again, I think I'm gonna leave it on. It's either gonna be Mondays or Wednesdays. Are gonna be a post day.
Okay.
I'm going to try to post. I'm probably gonna post this Wednesday. Honestly, if I have time to do it, I'll post it Monday. But anyway, that's gonna be. We're gonna try for one a week, right?
Yep.
A week that we might skip, we're gonna do other content too. So we're looking to just do it all. I
mean, the goal is to engage with you guys.
Yeah, we want engagement. We want to. I really want to start reacting to stuff. I think that would be so much fun.
I think it would be too.
See if we can get some more guests on here, and just go from there. And thanks for continuing on this journey with us.
Yeah.
Starting back up. If you're here from last time, thanks for coming back. If you're new, go back to the previous and see how bad we were back then.
I feel like we're gonna be rough for a while, but we'll get the rhythm back.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get the rhythm back. We'll get everything situated, everything dialed in, and yeah, we're here. We are Responsibly Irresponsible.
Thank you.
Peace. Sweet. I think I was really